GistTube TV, where we truly with news, gist, information proper on entertainment, politics, and education. Stay tuned as we truly with news. 202 Lagos lockdown violators arraigned, 189 convicted. A mobile court sitting at the Lagos State Criminal Investigation and Intelligence Department, Panti Yaba, on Thursday convicted 189 out of the 202 persons arraigned for violating the lockdown order of the government to curb the spread of the corona pandemic in the state. 60 juvenile violators, including some with hearing and speech impairments, were also ordered to do community service. Reports gathered during a visit to the SCIID that the violators were arrested while playing football, jogging, and partaking in different forms of physical exercise in different parts of the state. Policemen from the Alapere, Anthony Ogudu, Ikotun, Isolo, Maroko, Itire, Ikeja, Iju, Orile, Owode Onirin, and Ilemba Hausa police divisions arrested the violators and transferred them to the SCIID. The officer in charge of the SCIID, DCP Yetunde Lunge, said the violators were immediately taken to the mobile court for arraignment after their statements had been taken. During the court proceedings, the defendants stood in queues and took turns before Magistrate Lateef Layeni and Bimbo Oshodi Makanju. While some pleaded guilty for violating the lockdown order, others protested their arrest, claiming that they observed social distancing while exercising. The state police public relations officer, Bala Elkanah, told journalists that the 202 persons were arrested while playing football and exercising on major streets, adding that they were arraigned on one count of violating the social distancing directive of the Lagos State government. The PPRO stated on Thursday, April 9, 2020, police officers on enforcement of the restriction of movement arrested 202 suspects for violating the stay-at-home directive of the government. The suspects were arrested playing football on major streets and having group exercise in large numbers, which negated the principles of social distancing. The suspects were arraigned before the Lagos State Special Offences Mobile Court on one count of violating the social distancing directive of the government and contrary to Regulation 8 Section 1 subsection A and B and 17 Section 1 subsection 1 of the Lagos State Infectious Disease Emergency Prevention Regulation 2020. It is an offence punishable under Section 58 of the Public Health Law, Cap P116, Laws of Lagos State 2015. Among the charged suspects, 189 pleaded guilty, while 13 pleaded not guilty. At the end of the trial, the suspects who pleaded guilty were ordered to pay fines ranging from 5,000 to 10,000 naira. They were also sentenced to 2 hours community service, which was supervised by the officials of the Social Welfare Unit. The coordinator of the mobile court, Lagos State Ministry of Justice, Arinola Ogbarabanjoko, said the 60 juvenile violators, including those with hearing and speech impairment, were asked to do community service because of their ages and condition. She added that those among the convicts who could not afford to pay the fine were asked to do community service for a day and sent home with a warning that they should stay at home for their safety. Ogbarabanjoko stated, and I quote, "We started the mobile court today, Thursday, because of the low compliance with the lockdown order, and 202 persons were arraigned before the court. In addition, 60 juveniles, including people with hearing and speech impairments, were also brought. About 80% pleaded guilty and have been asked to do community service for some hours and also to pay a fine of 10,000 naira. For the few who pleaded not guilty, their trial will take place later on, and if they are found not guilty, they will be released." One of the violators, Oluchukwu Okafor, said she was the only one jogging at the time of her arrest, adding that she had to exercise based on her doctor's advice. The 20-year-old explained, "I was arrested around 6 a.m. in Bariga. I left my house around 5 a.m. to jog and while returning home, policemen accosted me. I initially thought they wanted to ask me for something, but they told me to sit on the floor and I was brought here. I pleaded with them that I have a heart problem and that I was jogging on my doctor's advice. I went to the hospital in early January and my doctor said I am obese. I told the magistrate that I had a prescription and a clinic that I attend every Monday at Lagos University Teaching Hospital, but she said there was no proof. I told her all my documents and appointment cards were at home, but I was told to do community service for a day and pay a fine of 10,000 naira. But I am unemployed and I don't have the money. Another violator, who identified himself simply as Abudu, said, and I quote, I am bearing the consequences of my action. I believe that if I had stayed at home, this would not have happened. I am waiting for my trial. It is when I meet the magistrate that I will know if I will be fined or asked to do community service, and from there go into isolation. One Emmanuel Williams said it was wrong to sentence the violators to community service and still fine them. Williams stated, I know the importance of observing social distancing and I was moving alone. I was just trekking as there is no outright restriction on movement. I was told to do community service by cleaning the environment and still pay 5,000 naira. This is very wrong. How can we be punished twice? It is either we do community service or we make the payment. But the two are applicable to me and it is not right. Well, as we can see from the news above being read to you already, well, these people have violated the regulation of the lockdown and they have been prosecuted according to the law. Well, over 80% of these people, pleaded guilty and they've been charged and they've been sentenced. Well, some of them to 2 hours community service, some of and with the fine of 5,000 to 10,000 naira. Well, I believe this is a very big and good improvement. Well, since there's nobody that is bigger than the law, well, Funke Akindele on her part on Monday was sentenced to 14 days community service and to pay a fine of 100,000 naira for organizing a party. Meanwhile, these people, they they broke the rule of the lockdown and they tried to jog on the streets. Well, this is a lockdown. You are expected to stay in your house and not move around. Do not turn the streets to exercising centers, gyms, gym houses and all. But no, I believe Lagosians would not listen to this. They would rather go on the street violating this law. And meanwhile, there were some of them playing football on the streets, major roads. Imagine, where is your principle of social distancing? You are playing football. You would make contact with persons. You will touch people you are playing football with, and this, in a way, is a violation of the rule. Meanwhile, 60 out of these 202 persons were minors, that is, they were not up to the age of 18, and some of them had some issues, that is, challenges, both hearing challenges and all, and they've been sentenced accordingly. Well, the underage among them, I believe they've sentenced them to community service. Well, they are not to pay any amount of money. But still they will get their judgment as a result of the violation they just embarked on. Well, the lady that said she had to jog based on our doctor's advice, well, there are exercises you can do indoor. You can actually do that in your compound. Like, you can move around in your compound, jog around in your compound. If you have a compound, if you decide to jog around your compound for 5 times, 10 times in a day, that's good enough to cover the jogging you want to do, instead of putting yourself at the risk of being arrested by the men of the Nigerian police force. She said that she started jogging around 5 a.m. Meanwhile, by 6 a.m., when she was returning home, she had to she met the men of the police force on the way. She thought they wanted to ask her questions, but she was arrested. That's the irony of it. So there's this other guy that said it is unlawful for them to charge them and prosecute them for community service and at the same time tell them to pay fine. Well, that's the principle. That's as it is stated by the constitution of the law guiding the Lagos State lockdown. Well, Funke Akindele, on her part, she was arrested. She was fined 100,000 naira and she was asked to embark on 14 days community service, and I believe she has started that already. She has started the community service already. So the Lagos State government does not give premium to anyone and does not abhor anybody. You get what you deserve. If people like Shino Pella, an honorable in Nigeria, could be arrested by the Lagos State government and at the same time sued, well, I believe there is nobody that is above the law. So you just keep to the violation, keep to the lockdown rules and regulation, and you'll be safe. It's all for our safety, but people would rather endanger themselves rather than keeping to rules and laws. Well, I believe this should be a lesson to everyone, every Lagosians, Nigerians, to stick to the rule and keep to the lockdown regulations. You are not to go out. If there's any improvement and they want all of us to go out, well, they will make announcements via the media and the social media. They will make an announcement via the television, the radio, Twitter, Instagram, and newspapers. But there are a whole lot of exercises you can do in your house without endangering yourself and exposing yourself to the risk of contracting COVID-19. You just stay indoor. Well, this is the end of the news. The Olamide is the reporter. If you've not subscribed to the channel, please do well to click on the subscribe button and click on the bell beside it to get notified when we drop new videos. And do well to follow us on our social media at GStube TV. Follow me on our social media personally at the Olamide_. Thank you.